Hi everyone, my name is Kidist from Kidist Korner, and I am back again with another episode. I think by now we've all established that we delve into deep conversations here that stand to benefit everyone. Today I have an amazing guest by my side, and I'm going to allow her to introduce herself.
My name's Lulu Tasi. I'm called Lulu Tasi.
Okay?
Yeah.
I know you've been advocating for a very long time. Do you mind sharing a bit of what exactly you do with the audience?
I'm an HIV activist since 2020, living HIV positive since 2013. And I've been advocating and doing my counseling work since 2020.
Okay, so if you don't mind me asking, how old are you?
I'm 27.
So 2013, that was how old were you when you discovered you were HIV positive?
Calculate.
Who can help me with math? That was how many years ago? That was about 10, 11 years ago. Guys, maths that's Sevania, but small mathematics. 2013 was how many years ago?
2013. This is 2024.
It's 11 years, eh? Yeah?
It's 11 or 11.
I was on. Okay. We can pick it up from there. So you found out you were HIV positive 11 years ago?
Yes.
Okay. At what point did you start your activism? When did you become an HIV activist?
I became an HIV activist. That was in 2020 after I endured, after accepting my HIV journey and after accepting that it's my real reality. And through what I went through, the pain, I decided to become an HIV activist, not for show off, but for someone out there who is still facing stigma and who is still having bad intentions in their mind.
So it took you 7 years to get to a place where you felt, now I want to advocate, now I want to be a voice against this problem.
Yes.
How did you contract HIV?
At first, I remember the time I discovered that HIV positive. I was first diagnosed with my TB. Then in my 2 months of taking my TB treatment drugs, I was being told to undergo HIV testing. And I remember that time I was still a virgin, and it wasn't easy for me to accept and undergo the HIV testing. It was a rough thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I remember my mom not agreeing to it until to the point I was like, no, mom, let me go. Whatever will happen, will happen. And you know, before you do something, there's always that thing whereby you're okay with it, but the moment you do it, everything shakes. Yeah, so after I did my HIV testing, oh my, it was a rough thing, it was a bad thing, it was a bad day for me. And the first thought that came in my mind was that I should commit suicide. If it's not for committing suicide, I should just end everything. I should stop paying attention. I should stop loving myself. I should stop school. I should stop concentrating on everything. Yeah. So after the HIV testing, I went through the counseling. You know, they are counseling you. You're just accepting with your head. Yes. But
real acceptance is gradual.
Yes, it was very difficult for me because I remember I went so confused. I left the clinic. I had to find myself nowhere until they had to rush me back. They did a little bit of counseling, you know, talking to me how to accept, how to take good care of myself. And even if they do that counseling, the moment you just found yourself HIV positive, it doesn't make sense. It's because you'll be asking yourself a lot of questions, you know, putting a lot of false things in yourself. And for most of the people, if you are not careful and if you are not going to give yourself a chance to endure, you end up ending your life. If it's not for ending your life, you end up abusing your life. Most of the times, most of the people start abusing their life, maybe with drugs, alcohol, just like that. So for me, my journey wasn't easy. My journey was very, very hard. I remember I would cry the moment I just take the drugs, because there were so many drugs, 12 drugs. It wasn't easy for me. I take TB drugs. I take I don't like using medication. I always prefer using ARVs. There's the reason why I use ARVs, to provoke people. Because when you use ARVs, people get provoked. When you use medication, people won't get provoked. It will seem in a very good way. So for me, I take TB drugs. I take ARVs. 6 in the morning, 6 in the evening, 12 a day. It wasn't easy for me. I would miss my medication. I would pretend as if I've taken the medication, whereas I've not. Then for my TB treatment, it took me 6 months. By this time around, I don't know if it's still 6 months. I don't know. It took me 6 months. After my 6 months, I was okay. I was discharged. Then coming to my ARVs department of ARVs, I remember asking a question to say, am I going to continue this? I was told it's a lifetime until death. And I was like, until death? Are you being for serious? I was told, yes, until death. You don't have to miss. You have to take your medication every day. I was like, okay, it's fine. But the moment I reached home, it's time now to continue. Especially when you're alone. When you're with people, it's always easy to agree to anything. But the moment now it's that time, you open the bottle, you look at the bottle, it's strange in your eyes. I used to shed tears. I would cry. Then I would ask Mom, is this the life that I'll go on with it? Mom was like, yes, you need to take good care of yourself. You don't have to tell anyone. You don't have to share it with your friends. Just take your medication. I was like, okay, fine. I remember I also tried to commit suicide. It never worked. After the time I tried to commit suicide, that was in 2014 July, 22nd.
A year after your diagnosis.
Yes, I tried to commit suicide. By then I was still a virgin, no boyfriend. I was just okay. Then I was like, okay. Whenever I sit down, I was now thinking, should I commit suicide or no? I was like, okay, let me just end my life. I should kill myself and everything should stop from here, because I'm a nobody. I don't think I'll get married. I don't think I'll have kids. I don't know how I'm going to explain this to my friends, and I don't know how I'll face the reality. I don't know how it will be.
What was your support system like during that tough time?
My support system from my parents, it was 100%. Very much 100%. They cared, both my aunties, my uncles from my mom's side, my cousins, my sisters, brothers. Then some of my brothers never knew about it. Yeah, some of them, they never knew about it. They knew the time I came out on public. That's when they knew it, to say, you are positive, but you don't look like one. I was like, why should I look like one?
When you're taking good care of yourself.
I'm taking good care of myself. I take the drugs every day. The key is that I'm taking my medication every day without missing. I always take good care of myself. And the struggle was real. The struggle wasn't easy. I remember that time we had, you're on drugs. Then you are also facing a difficult challenge at home in terms of food. And the drugs, when you take the drugs are very strong. So it wasn't really easy. You take the drugs, Mom would make porridge just like that. Like, no, I don't want to have porridge. I want something nice. But what can you do? There's no option. You take the drugs. Sometimes I would not take the drugs. I'll just get the medication, put it on a tissue. If I'm not going to throw in the toilet, which is, I'll just maybe hide it, maybe under the mattress, or if it's not under the mattress, or maybe in the wardrobe, just like that. Then maybe my mom, when sweeping, she would find the medication. she would call me. Sometimes she would even shout at me to say, "You're old enough. Don't behave as if maybe it's a child." I would get more upset to say, "What is she talking about?" By then, I never knew to say, okay, where is this thing coming from? When just something sits on you, you are still young, you don't know anything about boys, then you are just at a reality whereby you are talking, but you're not yet there. They tell you that, no, you are HIV positive. You began to ask yourself a lot of questions. Everything goes down. Education, maybe playing around with friends, you can't. You began
Puts
just
you in a box.
Yeah, you just separate yourself from that. Because for me, I used to think maybe if I'm found with my friend, maybe if I just touch them, they'll be also HIV positive. Maybe if I just talk to them, they'll be HIV positive. And I was having those kind of thoughts whereby maybe before I even asked my friends, because I had suffered a terrible cough, my friend will question me, and the criticism is real. For me, I faced criticism because the time I lost weight and the time I had started my medication, I was a deadly walking. So most of the people would ask me, you look so, you've lost a lot of weight, whereby people are talking, I'm even hearing it, and I'm on medication, I'll break down, I'll turn around and look at them and break down and cry, inside me. And the thing I had talked to myself is that I'm no longer going to be moving. And you'd find that if my mom sends me, I'll just say, I don't want to go. It's because I used to avoid the criticism.
So given all those challenges, at what point did you decide that the criticism is there? A lot of work needs to be done for us to move past that phase, because a lot of teaching needs to be done. And I commend you, because we need people like you who have a voice, who can come out and say, you know what, this is the situation. This is how you handle it. This is how we can make it better. At what point did you realize that you didn't want to sit and be miserable? Instead, and you wanted to fight and you wanted to advocate?
Yeah. After fighting my self-stigma, fighting the criticism from the society, from the family, and the most criticism that pains is the criticism from the family. After fighting all that, I don't know how I had to stood up brave. I nobody inspired me, or nobody said, okay, this, maybe I should go after her or him. No. I remember the day I went to collect my medication after missing my appointment date. Then I went to collect my medication after a week of my appointment. I passed through the counseling. They cancelled me. Why did you miss your medication, your appointment? I was like, I missed my appointment because I didn't feel like coming. And I felt like I should just stop the medication and end everything from here. The counselor I had to find there, she was like, no, you just have to continue. You can't stop your medication. It wasn't even a long counseling. It was just too short.
How long does counseling typically take?
It depends, but it doesn't have to be more than 1 hour.
No, I mean, do you need multiple sessions? Take, for instance, the way you fell sick and they told you it was TB. When you went back to the clinic, before they broke the news to you to tell you that you are HIV positive, I'm assuming that there was a counseling session that happened.
Yes, you go into, before testing, you go into counseling first. Then after counseling, you go test. After testing, again, you go back to the counseling room. Then you start your medication. So there's always that, there's something like maybe you miss your appointments, and like when they discover that you've been missing your medication, because they know that you've been missing your medication through our viral road. They'll be able to tell that this person has been missing their medication, which is you go back to the counseling room. Yeah. Okay. So for me, ever since that day, I've never gone back to the counseling room. That was the day after reaching home. I I look at the situation of my mom, and I had to look at the situation of my younger sister, how she used to, to face also challenges. Then I talked to myself to know, no, I think I have to change something. I have to change one out there. If it will start with me, which is even one out there will be helped, and one out there
see things
yes,
differently.
they'll get back to their senses of being happy and enduring. When you're home, you are seated, you might think as if everything is fine and everyone is okay with their HIV status. But once you start mingling with people, that's when you're going to know that, wow, people are still facing stigma, and it's not only maybe adolescent or maybe both, and it's the rate of stigma is still high. Yeah.
What do you think we can do, like for someone like me, sitting here and having this conversation with you? What do you think I can do to spearhead change or to start change?
The only thing that can be done, just the way we are talking about it. One, I'm sure a lot of people are listening. So I know that through the talking, one, when you hear someone talking about something that you are passing through, you also begin to think about it, and you're going to sit yourself down and decide to do the right thing. That's the only way. Because, some people, it's not everyone who goes through counseling. People always find a lot of excuses not to go into counseling. So through the talking and advocating, we are helping a lot of souls. Yeah.
So at 27 years of age, it is not a secret that obviously there is a love life somewhere. Are you married? Are you in a relationship?
I'm not married. Relationship.
Somewhere there, in between.
I'm not single. I'm somewhere in between.
Okay. What has your dating experience?
I'm somewhere in between.
In life?
Dating is experience. Dating and HIV. Dating and HIV. When you're HIV positive, dating is not easy. It's hard and harder. So I wouldn't like one out there to say, no, it's easy. No, what? No, it's not. It's harder.
Why?
It's harder, for one to disclose their status to their partner. Two, when they disclose their status to their partner, it's either they're going to be rejected, they are going to be used, they are going to be faked, they are going to be loved. So if you are going to be loved, you are lucky and blessed. If you are not going to be loved, you are going to be abused. You are going to be used. So, and most of the people get to be abused. The reason why I'm saying get to be abused, you are HIV positive and maybe your partner is negative, which is they'll pretend. There are some people, they just can't say no, I don't want to date someone who is HIV positive. They don't want just to speak out loud and to speak out the truth. The only thing they are going to do is use you and abuse you. So if you happen to find you're HIV positive, you are dating someone who is HIV negative, and they are open with you, they are okay with you, be thankful for that. Otherwise, it's, where am I going to put it? 75%. Yeah.
Have you ever experienced a situation where you yourself, from your personal experience, have met someone and then it gets to a point where you need to disclose your status to that person and they have not reacted well?
Yeah, for me, I remember my first boyfriend. Yeah, I didn't tell him the truth. Before then, I was not yet on public. I didn't tell him the truth. So I told him the truth just after what happened. That's when I told him the truth.
After sexual intercourse?
Yes. He was not upset. He was quiet. He was okay. For him, he gave a good response to me, which kept me with him and which kept me to say, okay, we are going somewhere. Then after that, he started, he started faking it up. When I go maybe to get my medication, he would, let me just say, he pretended to say he has accepted me, whereas he has not. Then, looking to the rejection part, I've been rejected. Yeah. Some would tell me you are contaminated, I can't date you. They were like, oh, I remember I used to cry in front of my parents. I don't know, maybe some people would cry in their bedroom. I used to cry. I'm just entering the door of the house. I'm crying as if it's a funeral. Then afterwards, I would be open and say, no, this is what has happened. They would make me strong. Yeah, and I don't know what I can call myself. I've never given up. I'm still trying. Yeah. So rejection is real when you're HIV positive. You even reach at that point to say, maybe I should only have a kid. I should just find someone to give me a kid and move on. Some people even start avoiding men. Maybe a man would propose to you, you start avoiding them. They wouldn't even know the reason why you avoid them. You don't want even to share with them because you're thinking as if it's a big thing, whereas it's just something small that when you disclose yourself, it's up to that person. Until to the point I had to reach to say, okay, if I disclose myself, if this person wants to be with me, they'll be with me. If this person decides to reject and go, which is they're not meant for me, so it's okay, they should go. I can't continue with the depression. I can't continue with the pain and hate. I can't continue panicking myself, asking myself different kind of questions and coming to wrong decisions. No, I shouldn't do that. Yeah.
So it's not a secret anymore that HIV is a global situation. In as much as we found ways to limit or reduce the infection rate, there are also people who are still very careless about it. I've heard several people pass comments like because I'm living with it, I don't care. I can sleep. I can be careless.
I can sleep. There's always there's always that thing where they say, if I'm HIV positive, I don't care about myself. Ninga gone chechi gone, then I pass it on to you. You will leave your pain to anybody, that person who doesn't even know you. It's because you have that pain in yourself. You don't want to let go of that pain. So at the end of the day, you're going to have wrong decisions to say, this time around I'll be sleeping with anyone so that I leave it to them. Yeah. And this has been happening. It's not something that we are going to hide. It has been happening. It is happening. This is the reason why you've seen the record of HIV is very much higher and higher. It's because of the very same habit whereby I'm HIV positive. I don't want to accept myself. I don't want to take good care of myself. I'll just, I'll be spreading this thing. Maybe in a year, I have to give it maybe to 10 or 5 people. Then I'm okay with it.
There are also so many misconceptions around it. And for people like us who have taken time to really understand HIV and how HIV presents itself and what we can do to help the situation in general. Some of these things, when we hear comments like, no, because this person is HIV positive, I cannot hold hands with them, or because they're HIV positive, I can't eat with them. Have you experienced such things?
I've experienced it, yeah. And when you reach at that level whereby I can't eat with you, I can't sleep with you, you break again, you cry and say, why was I chosen to be HIV positive? Because at that time, you think as if it's only you alone who is having that thing, without knowing that there are a lot of people who are having it, and generations have been having it before. So, for me, it's not that maybe my friends or what. Looking at the team of my friends, I have a very small team of my friends. My friends haven't been bad to me, but for me, I got it from my family. They would say, we can't eat with you. We can't sleep with you. Why can't you sleep with me? It's because when you sweat, that sweat of yours, I'll be positive. Why can't you eat with me? I can't just eat with you on the same plate, or maybe I can't eat the food that you've touched. So for me, it was so breaking, and I don't know, I don't even know this time around when I sit down and ask myself, maybe it's at night, I'm thinking to say, okay, those days, why were those people treating me like this? Since they used to treat me like this, how am I going to treat them this time around? And I wouldn't say that I can treat them better. The only thing for me I would do for those people is, okay, anyway, let them be. They'll also have something that will come for them. So for me, yeah, I've been there, whereby someone can't use the cup that I've used, someone can't eat the food, someone can't sleep with me because when I sweat, yeah, it's real. And I know that there are a lot of people who are passing through the same thing out there, and it's hard for one to be strong.
What's your relationship now with these same relatives that shunned you at that point?
There's no relationship. There is no relationship. For me, I believe if something happens to a friend, you sit them down, you talk. For you to be a good person to that person, and if you are a good person, you sit, you talk with them. There is no repetition of something. There are kind of people whereby you meet them, they ask you about your HIV status. They don't want even to know how you got it, but they still care about you. And there are people who know where you got it and how it came. They don't want to show love and care to you. And you can't do the same to them. You just give a distance to them and respect it from there.
Loyando, a common problem that I've seen, and even after hearing your story, I feel a lot of people lack knowledge.
Yeah.
And what they don't know, they try to destroy, if I can put it like that, because
Sure,
they lack that knowledge. They don't understand what is going on. So I respect the fact that you've taken a stance, because even by this sit down, I know so many people will hear, so many people will have a different understanding of HIV, and we are raising so many silent warriors who will now, after watching this, be ready to stand and to fight.
Yeah.
So I'm going to commend you again for it, because it's not easy. It can't be easy seeing you face stigma even within a home. Thank you so much for taking your time and for sitting with me and being able to share your story with the world.
Thank you very much.
Do you at any point see yourself being, obviously because you are dating, you see yourself married, but do you see yourself having kids?
Yeah, maybe next year.
Next year? Okay, that's in the next few months.
Maybe even the end of this year.
But get married first.
Okay. Anyway, I'll get married.
Mm-hmm.
I'll talk to that one.
You convince him.
Convince him. Yeah. So I know there are a lot of people out there. It's not age. It's not the age of one. In being HIV positive, I don't know. I don't know why. Okay, these 3 words, break, which it changes our lives. We decide whatever we want to decide. And the first decision, if you are a female, you'll be like, no, I'll be avoiding men. I'm not going to get married. Maybe I should just find a child.
But I've seen people who have done the opposite from what you're saying.
Yeah.
Because I interact with different people from different walks of life. So the way you are saying, no, I don't want a man. I've seen people who have said, because I'm HIV positive, now I want every man.
Yeah. So I think this is where the decision comes in. There's that decision whereby, okay, I'm HIV positive. I'll keep on dating until I find the right person. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Then there's also that mind whereby, since I'm HIV positive, I'll be sleeping with anyone just to, leave it with anyone. Then there's also that mind whereby, okay, I'm HIV positive. I'll die single. Mm-hmm. I'll die with no child. I'll just die the way I was born.
So it depends on the mindset. Then
there's always like, okay, I'm HIV positive. I'll just find a man to impregnate me, then we are done off that side. Then there's also that when I'm HIV positive, it's okay, I'll date someone who is HIV positive, we make a family, we are happy to go. That's how it is. Yeah, there's also us. We keep on trying.
So given your story, we've established that it's not always easy for one to accept their situation when they find out they've been diagnosed with HIV. What is your word of encouragement to that young girl out there who's just discovered that she's HIV positive and she's not taking it very well?
Okay, the advice, encouragement that I would give to one out there, young, adult, yeah, when you have been discovered that you are HIV positive, you have to be on TB, medication, drugs. It's hard, yeah, I know. It comes with the different kind of decision, positive, negative. The criticism is high, and discrimination, and the first stigma comes from you. So you have to talk to yourself to say, here is me, I'm HIV positive. In the next 2, 3, 4 years, I have to do a lot. I still have to catch up on things that I have to do. It's not the end of the journey. You don't have to hate yourself. You don't have to come up with bad decisions. Bad decisions will hurt you and your generation. So the best advice is speak to yourself. You have to be you, and nobody is going to say, okay, this time around we've given you 100% counseling. Change today. Nobody's going to force you. I would offer counseling to you. I would inspire you, just as we are talking here. But if you are not going to sit down yourself, if you are not going to talk to your mind to say, okay, I'm HIV positive, it's time for me now to endure. Endurance is not always coming on public. I remember there's someone who questioned me to say, do I have to come out on public? No, you don't have to. Coming out on public is not for everyone. For me, I came out on public not for show off, but to help you out there who is still facing the stigma, who is still facing challenges of taking their medication. There are some of the people who would say, no, when I take the medication, it gets stuck. I can't take the medication with cold water, maybe juice. Just make yourself strong. Make sure you use cool water. You take your medication, and you have to take your medication at the right time and accept your journey. Endurance, that's all. We would give you anything. Maybe we would give you, I don't know if we can give you money, I don't know if we can give you what, but it will be only you yourself to accept. Talk to your mind, talk to your everyday to say, okay, me this time around, this is my new life. I just have to adapt this life and move on with it, accept it, and be happy. Because if you're not going to talk to yourself, no matter how much we might be here for 1 hour, 3 hours, you are not going to get anything. It begins with you. The same way they say charity begins at home. That's how with medication is. That's how it is with TB, ARVs. Yeah, you may be an adult there. There are also adults who behave like kids. They just don't want to accept themselves. They keep on passing their HIV from one person to another. And, we've also been having a high rate, especially when it comes to female. I don't know why females, it has been a high rate. Because from the time I started counseling, a high rate of female comes seeking for counseling, looking at men. Men, I don't know. Yeah, so I wouldn't say maybe I'm defending men or what, no, but
I think generally that is what men are known for. Even in a home, marriages have problems. There are very few times a man is going to go and seek help from outside his home. So I don't think it has anything to do with acceptance. I think it's the nature of a man, which is another thing that we need to advocate against. Regardless of what your gender is, you deserve to be spoken to, you deserve to be loved, you deserve to be cared for. So men out there, reach out when you want someone to talk to, whether it is to accept your status, whether it is whatever issues. The highest rate of suicide happens to be in men. men are more prone to being suicidal
Sure,
than women are.
maybe it's because they can't be open.
And there's great strength in having a conversation like this.
So they can't be open. I don't know what's the problem. I think next time we need to have a man who's going to explain everything.
Gladly.
Yeah, so that's it. Otherwise, if you are HIV positive out there, just look at yourself every day in the mirror. If you don't have a mirror, turn on your mind. You still have a lot to do. If you have a child who is HIV positive, treat them well, talk to them, sit them down, make them understand they are good to go. As an adult, talk to yourself and you're good to go.
So it's been 11 years since your diagnosis now. And you've come a long way from failing to accept, to accepting, to choosing to advocate. Do you still have your low moments? Do you still have days where you wake up and you just feel low?
I get my low moment, especially when I sign up for something, as an HIV activist, as someone who is HIV positive, I want to stand somewhere out there. So you'd find maybe I signed up something, it hasn't gone well.
Because of your status?
No, maybe you know how these things happen to be. You happen to sign up maybe a simple contract. Then something hasn't gone well, then you began to ask yourself. And in the moment, especially maybe I also face criticism. My status is public. Mm-hmm. So they are always just baja, who just want to bring you down. So you'd find that maybe I post something on Facebook, someone would comment. If it's not for commenting, they will just come in your inbox. They speak what they are not supposed to speak. Then I'll look at the message. Maybe when I sit down at night, I would start asking myself, is what I'm doing wrong, or maybe I should end it from here? I remember in my early January, I wanted to end it from here. Then I was like, okay, I still have to continue. Yeah, I do face my low moments, but it's not always. Yeah.
Okay.
I don't face there are those people who face their low moments when they are being disappointed with relationship. Baba dumping. Baba kana. When they reach home now, they start thinking about their HIV and their HIV life. So for me, I think I've reached at that point whereby there's a point that I got. When you're HIV positive and like the way I am, there's a situation whereby you just talk to yourself to say, okay, this thing happened in the past. I need to let go. You can't continue being emotional. You are sharing your story. You get emotional. Some people won't pick it anything from that. So you need to be strong. That's how it goes. You need to be strong. It just becomes, when you meet a person, you share. Yeah, they ask you about it. You talk to them. Yeah, let's keep on going.
So we know that when you are diagnosed with HIV, you need to make great changes to your lifestyle, be it diet, be it whatever it is. I think you would be in a better position to advise people out there on what lifestyle changes to make, such as alcohol. I know there's no medication that works well with alcohol. And obviously it's one of the things that you need in your advocacy to talk about.
Okay, when you're HIV positive, you endure. The only mistake people we make, it's not that I've never been there, I've been there. The only biggest mistake we make, just as you have said, to say there's no medication that goes along with alcohol. If you are not controlling yourself, which is the next thing you're going to find yourself, if it's not chingwele, I don't know, leopard's heel, maybe yeah. So when you're HIV positive, you have to change your lifestyle. The first lifestyle is sleeping around. People sleep around
Carelessly.
if you're not going to change your ways of sleeping around, you're going to re-affect yourself. And as an HIV positive, you re-affect yourself. It's the dangers of you. You are already HIV positive, then you are affected again. It comes on another level. So as a person who is HIV positive, mind your lifestyle, mind the way you take your alcohol. In short, begin to control yourself. And if there's something that you have to cut, is sleeping around, having sex with so many sexual partners. Okay, quite all right. I'm a female. I'm HIV positive. My status is detectable, but I'm not going to know that partner I'm going to involve myself with. I won't know because that partner won't tell me the truth. Maybe that partner, he or she is also infected. We happen to have sex and they've been missing their medication, which is, I'm the one who's going to be in problem.
Mm-hmm.
And the dangers of affecting yourself, they are very much high. So this is the reason why they say, as an HIV person, learn to control your habits of sleeping around, alcohol habits, where alcohol is involved, everything gets so weak. So in short, just control yourself. You can't stop, but just control yourself as a you to say, okay, this time around, this is the limit. I don't have to go beyond. Yeah.
Do you ever get to a point in your life where you feel, given the circumstances that you contracted the virus, or you contracted HIV, do you ever feel angry at your parents? Do you ever feel burdened?
That was a very long time ago. Let me just say maybe 10 years ago. Yeah, I was very, very much angry. But I kept on asking myself to say, if my mom wasn't angry with the husband for a long time, me as a child, why should I keep on
Holding on.
keeping something? And moreover, people get married, the other brings problems from the other. It passes, it goes. Me, I'm just a child. What happened, happened. I can't keep on holding grudges with someone who is dead. Why? So I was like, no.
Has anyone ever told you how mentally strong you are?
Yeah, I have, but at some
because
point,
to reach a point where you can say, I've let it go. Do you know how much strength that takes?
This is why I'm saying I just see myself to be like this, but I don't know how much strong I am.
Yeah. Is there anything else that you would like to say to any viewer out there with regards to HIV and stigma?
The first thing that I would say out there to people out there, positive or negative, play safe. People are not honest. People are not honesty. Play safe. Married, single, yeah. And looking at the married people, play safe for your future kids, for your children that you have. People are never honesty. That's the only thing I can say. We are never honesty. Nobody's going to tell you the truth. You meet them today, you know them just like that, the way them, that they are not going to be honest with their status. When it comes to my status, only few people will be honest to say, hey, I'm HIV positive. Before we do this, maybe try to take a PrEP. Maybe we should use protection, which is difficult for people to use protection. So just play it safe. Yeah. You can go for PrEP. PrEP is always free at any clinic, hospital. Yeah. Just for your safeness. It's because people are not honest out there. Yeah.
Thank you so much for joining me today, Luyando.
Thank you.
I think we've created a safe space where there are no borders around having productive conversations, and I'm grateful that you've joined me and that you're helping me in the fight against stigma.
Yeah.
It's a great step, and I hope that everyone out there who's listening into this podcast has learned something or has gained a little bit more courage, a little bit more zeal to do life every day. From me and Luyando, thank you.
Thank you.